Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. So let's go to Filter Editor, and right here in Filter Editor we'll go ahead, again we'll use the existing image that we have, but what I want to do with this filter, I want to use it some angel glow and some add blur. So to do, we will use our adjustments and a couple things. What I want to do, I want to take it brightness and contrast, place it right here, so it will be our one node. We'll go connect our source to this. Okay, next what I want to do, I want to create another adjustments, and for this we'll just go to hue saturations, put it right here one more. We'll go connect this to source, and we'll set let's say this to the 0, but I want to desaturate it a little bit so it won't be that bright. Okay, next what I want to do, I want to add some glow effect. Okay, and some of them, if you look inside the processing, we have a very nice notes, the blend, where we can blend two images. We look kind of before. We have the blur, so what I'm going to use. We also used high pass, maximum, median. We have it multi-blend, some motion blur, distortion. All this is basic nodes, and most of those filters, how I said before, if you're using with Photoshop, you're kind of familiar with them, but let's go ahead and use it blur for this, and I'm going to select to our pass right here. You can see we already have an interesting effect. We have it saturated with a contrast, and we blur out after. So let's go ahead next and combine them together. For this I will just use it Blender, and I will connect one node to this and connect second. Okay, let's connect this to our source. Okay, in a source you'll notice right here we have an interesting color kind of blurring, semi-angel glow that's happening to our image. Okay, we can also control a little bit blurring by allowed user to do this. We'll go inside the controls. We go ahead and take a slider. Okay, let's place slider here and connect to the opacity. You will notice we have it numbered. However, our opacity is map mode controls, map controls, but we still can use this as a number for our slider, so it's allowed us little modification. Let's go ahead, save this filter. So we'll save it and we'll preview. You'll notice right here we have our opacity, where we can go ahead and now modifying amount, how to blend between them. If we're going all the way to the 0 to the right, we have it one image where we set desaturated, and if we're going all the way to the left 100%, we just take a value of all image that was kind of higher contrast and all blur. So we allow the user, we created filter where user can go inside and readjust the value that he think it's more appropriate for this. In that case, I created this filter where you do very fast, which allowed this nice kind of glowing around our image. Let's say I want to apply some additional modification to this, or I want to apply maybe saturations on a glowing effect. So we'll go to filter editor and we'll go to edit filter. The one thing you notice right here, we don't have it components displayed. So let's click to open our components. We also can zoom to fit, so we can preview. And at this point, what I want to do, I want to actually maybe modify radius, how much glowing will applied, and also isn't or just normal blur. So you can do this. Let's go inside our controls. We'll take slider, place it, we'll connect slider to the radius. Okay, so it's help us. will allow the user to set how much glowing it will be applied. Again, let's look also on saturations for this, and for that we'll go again into the processing, and let's look what else. Actually, it will be in adjustments. Sorry, we'll go to desaturate options, but this will desaturate everything, so we don't need it. We need to go inside the give saturation this way. We'll go disconnect, connect here, and connect to foreign. As well, we need to change our here to 0 values so it doesn't change. But what I want to people allowed, it's control saturations. So for that, we need to go again to controls, select slider, place it, and connect to the saturation tab. You will notice by default, name is taken from control that we're connecting. So what's happened, example, if I create another right here and I connect to saturation. If I just leave it like this, we'll have a 2 saturation, and user won't know which one applied. So on this case, you can go inside and just add additional information that I kind of will relate it, and we'll say this is background. Okay, it's got some limitation, so we'll just say back, and for this one we'll just say saturation on a glow. Okay, let's say filter, and now you notice we have it more options and control allowed us. So in that case, we can have it increase saturations overall on our main image. As well, we can increase saturation just on a glow. So if you want to create more kind of less saturation there, we can increase. As well, we can modify type of the glow. Okay, you can see how you can already create a very interesting effect to your filter. So let's go back to our edit our filter. Okay. The one thing, it's kind of important when you start organizing, and it just depends how you like it to organize, but I like put my controllers and realign so I can see connections, but it's not necessary, just up to what you like it. So next things what I want to do, it is look on some other options we have here. So we'll look on some adjustments that applied brightness, desaturate image, modifying the gamma. So we have it just simple source and just applying the gamma. We also have it hue saturations that we used before, invert image so we can give it negative or a positive look. We also can modify levels. Okay, where we can set black point and white point, and this is actually can control by the additional input nodes, which is nice. We can set threshold, and threshold is kind of important if we try to set more pasteurized look. Again, this is more with experimental, and we have a turn curve. Okay, we also on every image we can take it and separate the channels, and this is actually a filter for which perform very complex and extensive type of the separations on the colors. So for example, if you wanted, you can just take extract RGB. Okay, we can take source, connect it, and right here you can see we have it red, green, or black channel. So we can take separate them, just preform operation just on this channel and re-import again. So let's do this way. I'm going to disconnect this. We'll go connect source to our channel. Okay, we'll go to apply. Let's go with processing. We'll take a blur. Okay, we'll take apply blur, and we're applying blur, if you notice, only to the red channel. Okay, we also can duplicate it. So let's do just this Control C. We'll copy, and we can also paste. Like fast name. Okay, we'll just go connect. Just to be, will be green channel, and this will be blue channel. Okay, next we need to combine them together. So we'll go back to our channels, and let's look right here, which called assemble RGB. So we'll put this inside, and again on this point you will notice RGB. So we connect red to red, we connected green, and we connected blue. The image, if you look right here, we have a blur apply only to the red channel. So let's take even less kind of blur. Okay, and we'll go ahead and connect to foreground. Let's save this filter, and you can see how it's changed. So now we take just the red color on our background, and we actually blur the red channel right here. Okay. So what we done at this point, we can apply the just modification to specific channel. And again, this is actually very useful when you start work with HDRI images in one compose, or if you want to achieve additional effects. And in some cases, when I was working with a nebulous filter, it's what I was using by separating channels, and we can look on this. Okay, so right here we have it also separate type. We have it set alpha or get alpha from image, and you can apply based on color. We also have it different type of the color mixing based on SB or RGB or any other different values. So in some cases that will be applied to different type of the color control. Okay, next we also have it the gradient. And gradients is actually very useful when you start working with other filter. However, they also can control how in a way will your one filter may affect another one. So let's say we have a gradient filter right here from black to white, and we'll go just connect to opacity. You will notice now its work opacity is mixed based on the values of our gradient. So if we're going to look on our filter, you can see how it will change right now going from black to white. Also, we kind of, because the gradient is work on a square, we kind of reset and continue again. So in some case we will need to fix this now if we will work with this filter, but right now just as example to showing what is some components will do. Again, the best way to work with the filter forge is by opening and experimenting and look on how nodes will work and how they connect together. So let's go ahead back and we'll reset our filter. So I'm going to reset everything right here. Going to connect back to background. Okay, we'll go to save this filter. And in the end of our tutorials, we have the experiment. But what we have it's very interesting filter that you can modify your photos by working with a different type of the glowing and blurring effect, as well as saturations. So you can create very interesting effect, glowing kind of effect to your images. Thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please remember visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.